What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Nick Smith back here again, and usually around this time I do Cinetober. However, I think I'm going to hold off on Cinetober for a while until I figure out what I actually want to do with my YouTube channel, but I do at least want to get one horror-themed video made, and I decided to talk about not my top 5 favorite scary video games, but instead the scariest video games I have ever played. I had actually just finished beating the Dead Space remake, and I was like, you know what? I at least want to make one scary video. And I decided my scariest games I have ever played. So if you all are ready, let's dive into the scariest games I have ever played and why. Alright, so to start this list off, let's start it with how I started the video. The remake of Dead Space. I was originally pondering if I was going to put this video on this list or not because of where I never played it that much and I never beat it all the way through and I just never really got my hands on it. But after completing the remake, that changed tremendously. And first things first, the necromorphs and all their variations, they're horrifying. And even though there are times that they can get a little annoying, if you're not paying attention, they can overwhelm you to where you're backed into a corner and you're going through all your plasma ammo, your pulse rifle ammo, the Ripper, or the flamethrower, or the pulse gun. That's probably not the right thing. But they can make you feel so overwhelmed. They can be an overwhelming force that's always going to keep you on your toes. Not to mention the whole atmosphere of the Ishimori itself. Whereas in the original, yes, the atmosphere was horrifying, but it was in like level per level, whereas in the remake, you can explore the vastness of the Ishimori itself. You can go back to the beginning of the game. You can explore the entire ship before even starting the story. You can go anywhere you want. You can look through everything, and it just makes it all the more horrifying. Going down the corners, going down the dark hallways, but okay, what is around that corner? What is in the vents? What's going to come out? What is behind those doors? This game always manages you to keep on your toes, and it makes you look to see what's coming after you. And that is why the remake of Dead Space is so scary. Alright, so next on this list is that of the RE2 remake. Now, we all have been waiting for this remake to come for a very long time, ever since we got the RE1 remake on the GameCube in 2002. We had always wanted to see what the Raccoon City Police Department would look like on that of the GameCube animation, but it was sadly never meant to be. And then it happened. In 2019, we got the RE2 remake, and it didn't disappoint. There's one thing that this game and usually the other games have in common, and that is a safe space. And I'm not talking about where, you go and you save, where your stuff is and, where you put everything into storage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about there's usually one area where you're usually always safe. In the RE1 and RE1 remake and RE2, it was the lobby. Whether you're in the lobby of the Raccoon City Police Department RE2, or if you're in the main lobby of the Resident Evil 1 remake or the original Resident Evil 1, you were always safe. No zombies could ever get in there, nothing. And then we got introduced to the new version of Mr. X. As we go and we put the fire out on the helicopter, we go to survey the damage, see maybe what stuff we can grab, or maybe we can go into that room finally. And then we see just this big hand just move the helicopter like it's just nothing. And then the chase begins. Mr. X chases you relentlessly throughout the whole entire police department. But as I escaped his clutches, I had made it. This safe haven. The place where you can usually catch your breath, reload your ammo, or save, or just take a breather. And then I heard it. I had heard something I never thought I would ever hear in a Resident Evil game. A door opening and hearing those massive footsteps. And if you've played this game, you know what footsteps I'm talking about. Just those heavy, heavy pursuing footsteps. And I turned and I saw Mr. X and I was like, no, that's not fair. And then the chase begins. Mr. X constantly pursues you throughout the entire police department on every floor. You could be on the bottom floor and you could hear him up above you, or vice versa. They turned Mr. X up to a whole new level and made the game so horrifying I really didn't trust when I was safe or not. And another thing that made this game so horrifyingly scary was that of the lickers. They amped up the lickers to a whole new level. to where every time I walk into a room and I hear that roar, I immediately freeze. I'm like, don't move, don't move. They cannot see you if you do not move. I play the Jurassic Park T-Rex thing. Nobody move a muscle. With their deadly attacks, with their one kill, with their claws, the Lickers have been amped to a whole nother level, and they don't disappoint. I adore this remake. This is one of my favorite remakes of all time, and I really wish that we had got it on the GameCube, but we sadly did not. But that is why RE2 Remake is so scary, and I plan on playing it more and more as time goes on. Alright, and now keeping on the train of that of Resident Evil comes the original remake of Resident Evil in 2002. When I beat this game, I thought I knew there was everything to know about this game, from the false jump scare with the dog, to the actual jump scare, to the jump scares with the zombies and the hunters breaking through the doors or the windows themselves, to even them changing the zombies themselves, with the zombies turning that into those of the Crimson Heads, wondering, okay, how long until he lies on the floor and gets up? How much time do I have before he gets up and chases after me and he's more dangerous? I always played this game as Jill. Every single time I beat the game, it was always as Jill. I never played as Chris. But the one time I played this game as Chris Redfield, the game changed. When you go to the guest house, there's a poor soul who knew he was becoming a zombie, and he decided to take care of himself so that way he would never become a walking nightmare. You go into the bathroom, and like all horror movie or horror game cliches, the zombie drops and the guy turns and he comes after you as Jill. But when I played as Chris, I discovered the guy and I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I hear the eerie music, ooh, and I go into the bathroom and nothing happens. And I'm like, wait, what? No. Okay, this ain't right. What's going on? And I'm thinking, okay, maybe the game's glitching or something. So I leave and I come back, go back into the bathroom. Never happens. The guy never changed into a zombie. The game flipped the script on me, and it freaked me out so bad that I actually unloaded some ammo on this guy, some revolver ammo, pistol ammo, shotgun ammo. I was trying to do everything I could to make sure that this guy never came after me, and I just always had that thought in the back of my head. When is this guy going to turn? And it freaked me out. It messed with me. The remake of Resident Evil, the original, is actually my favorite horror game of all time, but it's not the scariest game I've ever played. That is still to come. Alright, so here it is. The be-all, end-all. The scariest video game I have ever played. Alien Isolation. Yep. There's no other one like it. Alien Isolation is in fact the scariest video game I have ever played. When this video game was released in 2014, I'll just tell you right now, I took my time with it. But also it's because I suck so bad at stealth games, but I was so immersed in the world that this game had created. They really took the concept of the first film and ran with it to a whole other degree. You are stuck on a ship and you are pursued by one alien, not a whole colony of aliens, one alien. The one alien from, well, Alien. And the fact of the matter is that what makes this game so scary is you can't kill it. You cannot kill this thing. There's no eventual boss fight where you take it on in a one-on-one fight. No, there's a, if it sees you, you are dead. If it hears you, you got either a moment to hide and pray to God above that it does not find you or hear you. This is the only game I have ever played where I have actually had to stop and hold my breath. There's no other game like this. This game actually makes you feel like you're being pursued by a real predator, and I love this game so very much. I have beaten this game many times. The fact of the matter is that they gave this game so much content to detail. You feel like you're in the world, and you just feel the atmosphere of the Nostromo. Even though the ship isn't the Nostromo, you really get that feeling of this is what it was like being in these people's shoes. This is also the only horror game I have ever played that's actually made me cry. When you hear actual Sigourney Weaver recorded lines for this game talking to her daughter Amanda, it broke my dang heart. I adore this game. This game is great. It's extremely scary, and if you are an Alien fan, I strongly suggest that you play it because there's no other like it. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed my video talking about the scariest video games and what made them scary to me. Don't forget to elbow drop the like button and spear the subscribe button for the 1, 2, 3. And put in the comments below, what are some of the scariest video games you've ever played and why? Tell me why. I would really like to know. Guys, I'll see you next time on another exciting episode of Talk Inside the Ring. And even though this is Cinetober, I might do another one. It just depends. If you want to see another Cinetober video, let me know. Bye, guys.